now for some soothing sounds from Squidward's clarinet. Thank you, thank you.
This is blasphemy.
Doot doot bubble blowers, it's Project back with another build video, and are you ready for one of the most powerful non-bleed builds in the game? Yeah, well, you came to the right place. I made this on stream 3 days ago, and with a little help from chat, we arrived to this monstrosity that superpowers these weapons beyond what you've seen before, killing bosses in seconds, healing every kill, and has a jolly good time doing it. In terms of power, I would say it's about on par or possibly even better than my Galaxy Eater Wing of Vastal build. Although, yeah, I mean, Azure Comet is still hard to beat, but hey, bubbles! So before we begin, make sure to blow that like button and comment down below what has been your favorite build so far in Elden Ring. It has been like a month now, I believe, so let me know. But without further ado, let's sound the 7th trumpet, the Trumpet of Blasphemy. It is a PvE faith build, Prophet class, that smashes both Blasphemous Blade and Envoy's Longhorn into one build. Envoy destroying the bigger bosses much better than Blasphemous, but Blasphemous handles smaller or fire-weak enemies better. And, well, for the final boss, Longhorn is literally useless since it absorbs holy damage, whereas against Radagon, Blasphemous destroys him, and for Elden Beast you simply swap to any weapon that you can slap Black Flame Tornado on and melt that oversized gummy worm. Now this is a swap build, so you will have to equip and unequip either of the weapons depending on the situation. At a higher level though, with enough equip load, you should be able to use both without having to swap. But starting with Blasphemous, it is a Fizz Fire split damage weapon with one of the craziest weapon arts in the game, launching a fiery projectile in a straight line ahead of you, which not only does it hit like a truck with decent AoE, but it also heals you every time you hit something with it and every time you kill something with it. So 2 times the heal, meaning the weapon will save you a ton of healing flask. And you can get this super amazing weapon by defeating Rykard in Volcano Manor and turning his remembrance into this OP weapon. The second weapon is Envoy's Longhorn. And like Blasphemous, its Ash of War is crazy good, turning you into SpongeBob and launching a gazillion bubbles out in a huge AoE in front of you when you go and each one of those bubbles can hit the enemy. So again, a straight boss melter, especially against the dragons. Now surprisingly, it is lighter than Blasphemous, which I found kinda weird, but unlike Blast, you will have to farm for this weapon from the Longhorn playing big heads. The one I farmed was the one near the East Capital Ramparts. I don't know if that's the fastest one, but that's the one I farmed. You're going to want to kill the 3 little ones along the way, that way you can warp right after killing the big one, but you definitely want a Silver Scarab Talisman for this. It definitely takes a long time to get, so good luck. But that's the Doot Doot weapon. The third weapon is Man Curved Snake Sword, same one I used for Astal build, gotten from the Ruin-Strewn Precipice Grace shortly after entering the cave at the bottom of Lake Liurnia. But after this grace, just keep climbing the ladders till you see a giant squid in the corner here, and it'll be guarding the sword. But this heals you for every kill as well, stacking with Blasphemous for a good chunk of HP back. But this is used solely, unupgraded, for Seppuku. I was initially going to go Poison with the Raw Talisman for a 20% attack increase, but someone in chat suggested seppuku, and yeah, combined with Blood of Exaltation, you get a free 20% attack boost affecting everything. So literally every build can use this trick even if they're not bleed. And well, that's the main differing factor between my build and the other builds using these weapons. But yeah, those are the weapons. The seal is purely for the buffs if I'm being honest, so even that doesn't need to be upgraded, but you can easily turn this character into an actual faith casting character if you wanted. But I just think these things are way more powerful with little setup, so like why even bother with Incantations? Before the buffs, you're gonna want Golden Vow and Flame Grammy Strength for Blasphemous, and then Seppuku and Heal to full for your full damage. For bubbles, you use Golden Vow and Black Flame Protection, and then Seppuku and Heal for max damage there. But FGMS doesn't affect the bubbles unfortunately, so we don't use it there. But a bonus incantation you could throw in is Bestial Vitality, gotten from Garant. It'll slowly heal you over time for cheap, which is nice to help you stay topped off. Armor, kinda dealer's choice here, but the helms are swapped like the weapons, using Envoy's Crown for bubbles or Vari's Mask for Blasphemous. Now most of you are probably going to be too lazy to swap, so between the two, Vari is better since it still affects Doot Doot when you do the seppuku, but I mean, come on, this is your one chance to use Squidward Helm, you might as well. And then Godskin Chest for that melted marshmallow look, Briar Gloves because Briar best armor, and the legs are whatever, something light. Talismans. The three constants are Alexander's Shard, gotten from doing Alexander's quest and defeating him at Fair Missoula, Blood of Exaltation, gotten from beating the boss in Little Catacombs, and Ritual Sword Talisman, gotten from this place here after beating the boss, giving you 10% increased damage at full life. So that is a total of 45% damage boost when you seppuku and heal back to full. But the fourth talisman is your Swap Talisman. When you use Blasphemous, you want Carrion Filigree to lower that damn FP cost, and for bubbles, you use Sacred Scorpion Charm, increasing holy damage by 12%, which the bubbles are holy damage, but it does reduce your damage negation. But we counter that by using Black Flame Protection I mentioned earlier, bumping your negations to 40% even with the Charmed equipped. Now you can go with the Rotten Talisman for an extra 20% attack, as you can self-trigger poison by eating a meat dumpling. But while the damage boost is nice for a YouTube video, the fact that it can't be crafted and has to be farmed from the big pop boys, ain't nobody got time for that. But to make it visually easy to see the setup for each weapon, this is what you want when you swap to Blasphemous, and this is what you want when you swap to Bubbles. So just some minor swaps if you want max damage. For Flask, this setup is for Blasphemous, and this setup is for Bubbles. Do note that the faith boosting Flask effect adds 10 faith to your faith stat, so at most you want 70 faith with this build. For Spirit, honestly, Dung Eater is probably best. His Sword of Milos can debuff the enemy, giving you more damage, and well, his AI is a lot better than Mimic. I don't have it, but you can do a trick I do with adding aromatics to your equip slots, which your Mimic will use sometimes, boosting your attack or lowering the boss's attack. And going even further this time, you can add freezing or oil pots, which Mimic can still use, which when they throw it, they can frostbite the enemy, lowering the defense by 20%, or if they throw an oil pot, they can boost the next fire attack done to the enemy by 50% once. So really powerful items for the build that Mimic can toss out infinitely, even if you just have like one of each on your hotbar. You can also use these against the bosses yourself, but personally, I just don't like showcasing items against bosses and prefer the natural setup just from spells or weapons, but both are easily craftable if you wanted to go to that limit. And finally, stats. Here is my 125 spread that I use for all the clips on New Game. But ideally, since this is primarily PvE, I would go to the 150 meta for this build. This way you can get to 70 faith, which is 80 with the Wondrous Physic Holy Crack tier, and you can get more life and more mind so you can more comfortably use Blasphemous, as with only 18 mind on my 125, I do eat through Flask pretty quick, and you definitely want like 5 to 6 mana pots to get through a level. But again, class is the Giga Chad Prophet, which I now believe is the best class in the game, simply because of the amount of builds you can optimally make with it. Like, the next build I want to do is going to be the Black Blade build, which again will be Prophet. And lastly, for Great Rune, for the last bosses, you want to just use Godric's for the extra damage boost and mind, but for going through a stage or even the open world, Rykard's Great Rune will give you even more healing, with every kill pretty much restoring like 25 to 30% of your HP back. Pretty crazy. But yeah, that is my Trumpet of Blasphemy build, or Blasphemy Bubbles build, or whatever. Doot doot. Hope you guys enjoyed the build. If you want to see more, give the video a like, comment down below for the algorithm's sake, maybe even join the channel? Huh? No? Okay. But hey, the least you can do is subscribe and hit the noti for more Elden Ring epicness.